Now the afterthought I always had was like, guys, did I give night of the lady of the night? Was I giving lady of the night? Was it my outfit? Was it the way I was standing? Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, you haven't subscribed, it's the first time you're seeing this gorgeous pretty face. Hello, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, and why am I repeating myself? Clearly it's a sign that I haven't done this for a very long time. But anyway guys, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, it's the first time seeing my face, hello and welcome to the family. Please take a chair by subscribing and joining the family. If you're here again for the 100th time, for the 200th time, I just want to say you're an OG, you're my baby, you're my lovely, and hello, welcome back to our channel. It's so good to have you here. So guys, I feel like I owe you guys an explanation before I get into the story time. And the only reason why I'm explaining myself is because I know some of you guys are so invested in our channel's growth and the consistency of therefore. So here goes nothing. So I've been juggling 2 jobs and school, research, and still just trying to be me, guys. And it's hard, especially running the business while having a job that requires you to be there full time. It's really hard, and trying to find the balance is not balancing. Also because I feel like there's another business of mine that I haven't been paying attention to or focusing to, but that's merely because I don't have time. And I really try my best to still put out content, but hopefully the project ends in a month and then we're back to normal programming. But I'm also so exhausted, so fatigued, because the school, the work, the business, it's a lot. But I'm not complaining, I am grateful. But anyway guys, that's why I've been very inconsistent, and also just because editing takes up so much time, and boy, I don't have that much time. But anyway guys, so I'm doing this video because a couple of y'all said you wanted a story time, and so I thought, what is the best way to make it up to my lovelies, up to my lovers, if not with the story time? So here's another edition of me being a clown, and I am having a drink, and this is what I'm drinking, guys. I love the Savannah. I wanted Savannah non-alcoholic, but there was no non-alcoholic, so I had to settle for that. So let's get into the story. So this happened a couple of years ago, right? So a couple of years ago, I think right about 2017, I used to do activations, right? So I used to do activations for this one big brand, and I think a lot of you guys are familiar with, sorry guys, I think a lot of you guys are familiar with the brand because they are actually a very popular skincare or skin cosmetics brand, right? So we used to do the promotions through this other company, I think, that they outsource or something, that does their marketing in Namibia, right? Cool. So one of this so what, to give you context, so I used to stay in Ochimise. So Ochimise in Windhoek is a little bit on the outskirts of the CBD, right? And I used to do my activations in Klein Windhoek. So yeah, you can imagine the distance, right? So what would happen is I would wake up early morning to be at the road so that I can make it on to work on time, because then you have to be at work and then the manager brings the things and then takes pictures of you at the setup, and then they go and then they come back again around lunch or when you're knocking off to pick up the things and give you your payment for the day. Great. So That was my routine basically. On weekends we do activations, and I wake up very early, I think around about 5, and then I take a shower so that just when the shop opens, when the shop attendants are like trying to put things into place, we are also there doing our setup, right? So on this faithful day, I remember it was a month end. So I'd woken up, I'd taken a shower, I dressed very cutely. And for those of you guys that know those activations, girl, they want you to give. So I remember I had a gel bola, and we were wearing these blue cute dresses that are like kind of short with pumps. And the girl was gorgeous. The girl was giving everything she needed to give. Right. So I was standing at the roads. And so our street was a couple of streets away from the shops at Ochomise, right? So now, because I wouldn't get a taxi where I was, my plan was I'm going to walk to Ochomise, to Ramatex at Ochomise shops, because the shops are more busy and it's easier to get a taxi there. So I was like, great. So I walked, right? And so I get to the shops, so it's still like a bit early, hey, about 7, like kind of 7, it's becoming a bit light, right? So it's around 7, and I walk with this other lady to the shops, and when we're at the shops she gets a taxi, I'm left, right? So then this guy drives by with a white BM. Now this guy, I think back in the years, was like one of those very schmonit tenderpreneurs, but this is just my assumption, because I used to see him do the runs on social media like those years. He used to be like a bowler, like serious alcohol splashing, and you know the vibes. So this guy drove by. When he drove by, I did notice him because he was driving a nice car. So when he drove by, I noticed that his car was quite full. And I think he did notice me, because when he came back from Ochumise extension, what, I don't know, the police side, when he drove back, he came to me. He came straight and turned, and then he parked in front of me, and he's like, get in. And I was just like, and then he's like, come, get in, where are you going? And so it's like, no, I'm going to climb Ventuk. And he's like, okay, cool, I'll drop you. And I'm like, he's like, oh, you think I'm going to do something to you? It's daylight. And I was like, So anyway, because I was struggling to get cab, I was like, damn, what's the worst that can happen? So for story's sake, I'm gonna call this lady I used to do activations with, Maria. So I sent my location to Maria, right? Hi, sharp. So I get into the car, and he's kind of making small talk. And so immediately when I enter the car, so in the middle of the passenger seat and the driver's seat is shit tons, loads of cash. Guys, it was a lot of money. Now, I've seen like a lot of cash because I'd seen somebody with a bag full of stacks buying a car or cars, but I hadn't quite seen like just somebody chilling randomly with money in their car. Like, it's not in a bag, it's just there. So then he says, listen, I'm gonna drop you off, or drop you somewhere where you can get a cab. I was like, okay, cool, sounds cool to me. He's like, but I need to make one detour. So I'm like, detour to where, sir? Cause you said you ain't trying to kill me, but now you're trying to make a detour. And then it's like, no, so in Kumasdal there's this, I don't know if it's a lodge, but it's an establishment, right? It's an accommodation. So it's that side of the Kumasdal, the side of the clinic, it's somewhere that side, right? So he's like, listen, I just need to pick up something there, and then we're on our way. And I was like, alright, no stress, it's cool. Also, the other reason why I wasn't panicked, he said, No, when we get there, I'll just have to go in and pick it up, and then I come in and then we go. So I'm like, okay, cool. So when this guy goes, he doesn't take it. So we drive and we get to the place, right? And he drives into like the establishment now. Like it's like an Airbnb or like a bed and breakfast, something like that. So when he drives in, there's actually quite a number of cars. And then also because it's early morning, right? So the guests are still in the room. So he drives and he parks, and then he says, I'll be back now. Okay, so I'm like, okay, cool, right. So I'm chilling in the car. He left the money in the car, by the way, but I was just like, it's giving you're testing a stranger, and by the looks of things, I could take your money and run away, and you'd never know me or see me again. But then again, also she's just like, it's giving, I don't know, it's giving dangerous money. But anyway, so now we are in, now I'm staying in the car, right? And then like maybe after 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, homeboy comes back. And then homeboy says, no, actually what I'm picking up is kind of going to take long, so if you don't mind, you can come out and wait with me. So I'm like, no, but I'm going to be late for work because bruh, that wasn't part of the plan. You said you're going to pick up things, and that's why I initially agreed to come with you, because you said you was going to drop me in town or somewhere I can get a cab. And now you're telling me like I've already been waiting like for 15-20 minutes, and now you're telling me like it's gonna take longer. So I'm like, nah, bruh. And then so he's very convincing, right? That's how he got me to go into his car in the first place. So he's like, okay, and then he's telling me like, yeah, just come out, and what, we're just going to wait. And I'm like, okay, cool. So what happens is, I said I'll follow him, right? So I remember I was having like a backpack, the ones from Mr. Price, ne? Like the girlish ones, not the original backpacks. You know those handbag backpackish things that Mr. Price was having a couple of years ago. So I was carrying that with like all my stuff now. Okay. So I said, no, I'll come to you, just go. So now in my head I was contemplating like, when he left the car, I was trying to make the calculations like, do I go, do I just go to work? So now I got out of the car, and then he's like, no, just come, it won't be long, just come, wait, what. And I see he's talking to like two ladies, right, where he was standing. So he was standing upstairs and he was talking to two ladies. Then he's like, no, just come and wait, and what. So when he came to the car, he came to get the money, right? He took the stacks of money. So for me, I thought, okay, he's probably going to pay for the something that he came to pick up. Remember, because he said he's coming to pick up something, quick in and out, and then we go. So I'm like, okay, right. So he's talking to these two ladies, and I can tell that they both work at the establishment, because one was wearing a uniform, and then the other one was holding mops and brooms. So they're standing on the balcony of the rooms, like there's a walkway, right, to the rooms upstairs. So they're standing there conversating. So, and then I try to go like now out of the establishment to go get my taxi. And then homeboy comes and he's like, no, like, why are you trying to be like that? Like, I'm being nice to you, and I just want to like at least make good on my promise and drop you at work as I promised. Wow. So he comes down the stairs, and he's like, no, let's just go. So in my head I'm like, okay, cool, let's just go. He says it's not going to be long, right? So let's just go. So we go. So when we go out upstairs, so we walk upstairs. I think there was one. We passed two rooms, and then the third was where he was standing with the two ladies and conversating. So when we come to the room door is open. So the lady was cleaning that specific room. I think that's why she was standing with the broom and the mop. And then I think now, in hindsight, I think the guy was a regular at that establishment. You get what I mean? I think he was a regular like that. So we get there, and then he goes in the room, right? So I'm still standing leaning on the balcony railing, and I greet the ladies, and then the one lady walks away. And then the other one continues sweeping to the next room, because now it's 8-ish. Okay, now it's 8-ish. 8-ish. Okay, so he's in the room, I'm standing on the railing. I'm like, yeah, can we just go? Like, if you're not going, I'm going. Wow, 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 wow. And he's like, no. So he's standing in the room, right? He's like, come in, come in, I just want to tell you something. So in my head, I'm like, there is no way I'm entering a room with a stranger. First of all, I don't even know where I am. Secondly, a stranger that picks me up on the side of the road, and now they want me in the same room as them. I was like, nah, boy. So he's standing over there, and I'm standing outside, leaning on the railings. So he's having a stack of money. He's like, this is 10K. And I'm like, and so? And he's like, this is 10K. And I'm like, and so? And he's like, yeah, we're grown-ups. You know what I mean? In my head, I'm like, excuse you? You mean what now? And then he's like, yeah, I'm willing to. He's like, listen, I just want somebody to like get me the edge off, and I'll give you 10K. Boy, am I giving lady of the night? What exactly am I giving to you? So I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then he's like, no, if you think I'm not gonna give you the money, you can take the money and put it in your bag. In my head, a lot of things are happening now, because I'm like, number one, why would you want to give a stranger 10K? Number two, why would you want to sleep with a stranger that you just picked up from the road? Number three, why are you so familiar with this ladies? So is this something you normally do? I have so many questions. So I'm like, nah, I just want to go to work and, end the day and go back home. And then he's like, how much do they pay you? Because from the looks of things, because when we're in the car, we're making small talk, right? And he was asking, where do you work, or where are you going to work? So I tell him, no, I'm going to where I explain, and I was being truthful, like, I'm going to do activations for this brand. And then he asks, how much does that brand even pay you? Because this money, I'm sure, can last you way longer than what the brand is paying you. And I was like, say what? And so he's just there, like, trying to convince me, like, to get in the room with him. He's like, no, he'll be quick. He's gonna be quick, and I won't even feel anything, and it's gonna be like 10K. And he was just fixated on the 10K, and like, he was holding the stack like this. It was like, you can take this and put it in your bag. And he's like, listen, you're even going to keep the keys for the room. Whenever we're done, you get to work. If you don't want me to drop, you get to work and just go. I was like, boy, I do not have time for this. And I left him. And then he, like, when I was leaving, he tried pulling me, and then I screamed. And then the lady, like, the cleaning lady, came out, and then I ran. So mind you guys, I think around about that time, I was just, I don't even want to lie, how old was I think I was just like in my early 20s. And so I was really freaked out, because one, I've never had a man offer me money for sex. Two, this guy was kind of huge, and I knew, like, if he could subdue me, it was crickets and over for me. So there was the other thing. Number three is, I think, like, I kind of just saw my life flash in front of me. I was like, boy, is this how people die? Is this how people vanish? Because this is definitely giving crime investigation, what. And I remember also shaking by the time I left the complex, like, my whole body was shaking. And he drove out now to follow me because I was walking out to the main road to get another taxi to work. And mind you, now I'm running late. My partner already did the setup, and the manager already came by, and I was not there. And I was so upset I couldn't even communicate with like my partner and tell her exactly what was happening because I was just so upset. And I remember he drove out following me, and he was like trying to apologize, like, yeah. So I think what he thought was I'm probably like woke, but unfortunately I was not woke to troll him on on Twitter, because also I wasn't really like, I'm not from Bantuk. I was born in Bantuk, but I grew up in different places. So also then when I like my growing up, I wasn't really big on social media. The only thing I had was Facebook, but my Facebook was still like very personal, always personal things. I wasn't really into people's businesses. So I think for him, because also his number plate was private, one of those names. I think he probably thought like I'm gonna try and like run his name on the socials or whatever. So he drove after me, like he was like apologizing. His window was down and he was apologizing, and I was shit scared because I'm like, any day now this guy's going to stop his car, grab me and put me in the boot and drive off with me, guys. So dramatic, so dramatic. Anyway, so yeah. And then he's like, listen, now just take money for your taxi since I delayed you and what. And I was just like, boy, I want nothing to do with you. Also because I was really upset and I was totally freaked out. Guys, and now, so post everything happening, so okay, fine, I just ignore him and I get into a taxi, and then I go and he turns back to the guest house, the B&B or whatever it is. And then so I get to work, and then when I knock off, I get to my place and I tell a friend like what happened during the day. And like, now the afterthought I always had was like, guys, did I give night of the lady of the night? Was I giving lady of the night? Was it my outfit? Was it the way I was standing? Guys, still now I'm so offended. I'm very offended. But anyway, guys, that's how somebody thought they could buy your girl for 10K, and your girl, unfortunately. And also for me, I think more than anything, I'm so paranoid. Okay, one thing that saves me from a lot of rubbish is my paranoia. I was just like, firstly, this nigga drove by me with a car full of damn ladies, so he probably came from this place. And also, yeah, when I got into the car, he said no. I said, where are you coming from early in the morning? He said, no, I want to drop my friends at the flats there. We are coming from Pharaohs. So now when we get to the place, remember to that now accommodation thing, the fact that he went straight to that room for me was now like, in hindsight, it's like red flag. And why are the ladies so familiar with you, my guy? It means like, so for me, I was just like, nah, either this nigga is having juju, like, in his touring, and this is how he's getting his money, or like he definitely has some STDs and HIV that he just wants to deposit everywhere because make it make sense. But anyway, that was my very bamboozling experience with a random man in a random day in Vantok. And since then, I've never entered a car of a stranger. It does not matter how desperate and dire the situation was, I would never enter the car of a stranger. And the reason why I actually am telling the story is because Google Photos recently reminded me or sent me or showed me like videos I took of that day when I was standing at the road. I took pictures on so the Google pictures was like, do you remember this day back in 20 what? And that's why I'm telling the story. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for enjoying the story. If you did enjoy it, guys, I know like the story was not like shizering because like nothing dramatic happened, and you guys always want the drama, but unfortunately, I'm the drama. There was no drama. Yeah, if you enjoyed the story, give it a huge thumbs up. If you're watching till this point, hashtag OG in the comment section. So you just hashtag OG with the love, and then I know that you watched this video till then. So from me, you're lovely to you guys, my lovely. I love you to the moon and back. I'll see you guys on my next upload. Mwah.